done any road racing after you got out of the military?
Oh, for years. I didn't stop road racing until I hit my head, and even 6 months after I hit my head and went into my coma, I woke up. I didn't do a lot of training, but in January I started running a little bit, and then February a little bit more. I didn't know about the heart issues. They made me start wearing a heart monitor, but wouldn't tell me why. I didn't have any medical records back then. Nobody was really telling me anything. I didn't realize my spine was shot up on November 7th because I was still in a cloud. But they did lidocaine and marcaine on November 7th. I didn't remember that or know about it. They dropped me off in Ybor City, and I ran a 5K race in 30:05. That was not really the best thing for them to do, because I was in speech therapy just a few days later, and all I did was just stretch my neck, and I went like this, and my neck made like a cold twig in a Connecticut December day snapping in half. And the speech pathologist got up and went and got the nurse. It was loud. So then I started to realize there was some more problems. And the heart, why they were making me wear a heart monitor. I continued to run sporadically, very once in a while, a couple times a month. My endurance was never coming up. It wasn't getting any better. I still take 2 and 3 naps a day. Today is going to destroy me. I mean, I'm going to make it to 6 or 7 today, but tomorrow and the next day are going to be tough.
Well, you can nap during Lathan's presentation. We'll turn off all the lights.
No, I'll make it. It's just the next day and the next day. But I wasn't getting any better. So I hired my own personal trainer about 6 months into my second brain injury rehab, because they released me from physical speech and occupational therapy only about 3 weeks into Communicare. And I spent 2.5 years there. So 6 months into that, I hired my own personal trainer. Right down here, I saw him this morning at the Lifestyle Gym. And I was in that gym maybe 2 to 3 times a week doing things. Flat out scared my personal trainer. He had me doing dips with 15-pound weights, and I can't even walk a straight line.
Let's talk about, you wake up, your memory starts to come back, you're at Health South. Where do you go after you leave Daytona?
Daytona down to Health South in Melbourne, Florida, and then over to Tampa to the Center for Comprehensive Services, which is a mentor network brain injury rehab.
What do you remember about your early therapy? Do you remember anything about Health South in Melbourne?
All I remember about Health South was I made cookies. I remember that with Jane. Marianne. I did Sudoku. I did check writing. I remember the physical therapist. She was a pretty girl. I remember her telling me something that was very important and I still use to this day. I was still having some very extreme hard headaches. I was taking hydrocodone back then and some powerful drugs. But again, I didn't know that they had shot up my neck, but I would fall asleep after doing almost nothing, 15, 20 minutes worth of mental stimulation. I was ready to go to sleep. But she told me to lay down on one of the mats. I remember that at the Health South. And she said, go to a place that's comforting to you. And I used to run up a mountain in Durham, where when you get to the top, you could see Hammonasset to the right, and you could see the skyline of Hartford to the left. That's about 80 to 100 miles of carpets and trees. It's probably 800 elevation. And I thought about that immediately, and I don't even know why. But I went there, and I laid there, and I used to sit up there sometimes and just look at it.
Excuse me.
Yes, sir. So I remembered that, and I laid down, and next thing I know, I'm getting tapped, and it's time to get up. So I was still taking a lot of naps, even after waking up from the coma.